Today is the last class of our MEV-16 paper, and
Yes,
we are
sir.
waiting for the students to join.
Yes,
So
sir.
let's wait for few minutes, and after that we will start. Okay,
Okay, sir.
and today
Thank
we
you.
will start from block 3, unit
Okay,
8.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
don't worry. I
Yes, sir.
if only one student is there, I will also take the class. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Namaste.
ତାଙ୍କର ଦେଇକି ଦଉଥିଲା ଯୋଉ ସବୁ ସେଟା ପାଇଲା ଆମର କିଏ କିଲୋରେ କିଏ ରହते ଲୋକ କାହାକୁ ରଖେ ଇଏ ଘରେ ସବୁ ମାମା ଆସଲା ନା ମାମା ଗଲାଠୁ କିଣି ଯାଉଛି
Pushpopriya Sahu, please mute yourself.
Yes, sir.
So let's start our today's session. So good evening, students. On behalf of IGNO Regional Center Bhubaneswar, I welcome you all to this online platform that relates your theory paper of MEV-16 course of MSc ENV program. And today is the last day for us to cover up all the remaining blocks or units of MEV-16. So we have actually very less time to cover all these in details. So as far as possible, I will cover all the important aspects of the left out contents. Uh, so am I clearly visible or not? Sorry, am I clearly audible or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So now I am sharing my screen with you with the block syllabus we have. Just wait, I am sharing my screen. So my screen is now shared with you, and this is the block we will start. That is block 3, EIA reporting. This is the block name, and under this we have Unit 8 related to classification of industries, Unit 9 description of the environmental setting, Unit 10 decision making in environmental impact assessment, and after that, and the last unit we have Unit 11 EIA reporting. So depending on Unit 8, 9, 10, that is classification, description and decision making, Then after our EIA report was framed. Okay, so as we know, industry, these are the product producing mechanistic settings. Okay, so these are known as the industries. So these industries are undergoing or are perform various scientific as well as mechanical projects to carry out their technical and production work. And the first unit is corresponds to types of industries. What are the types of industries are there? So this unit contain the objective of this unit, classification based on raw material, source of raw material, size, ownership, miscellaneous. What is the factor that location of industries that affects, categorization of industry is on the basis of different parameters, sitting and setting criteria for EAA project. So what are the different criteria that EAA project may be framed, then site planning and development, and after that is the summary and conclusion. So industrial revolution was held in 18th century, that is 1852 to 1883. So 18th century there is industrial revolution. So there is vast increase in number of industries for the production of many new products for the human beings or civilization. And in that industries, we have manufactured many advanced materials from raw materials like sugar is manufactured from sugarcane. You like this? From iron ore, we have produced iron rods for the construction of homes or construction of buildings. And there are also tourism industry which is very much popular nowadays. So the many industrial revolutions and many new type of industries are grew up during the 18th century. So what are the objective of this unit? I think Ajit Kumar Mohanty, please mute. Okay, thank you. So objective of this unit is classification, categorization, what are the criteria of EIA project, and site planning and development. So based on different parameters or different sources, we have different type of industries. Like under raw materials, we have heavy and light industry. Under source raw materials, we have agro based, the agricultural based, mineral based, marine and forest. Industry size on the basis of magnitude, we have small size industry, medium size and large size industry. And depending on the laborship, that is a membership, we can say it may be of private sector, public sector, joint sector, corporate sector, and multinational company, that is MNC are also there. So in miscellaneous, we have industry in village, cottage, consumer, basic type of industries, that is small scale industry, ancillary, capital intensive, and labor intensive. So these are all the different types of industries we have. So the first one is raw material, that is heavy industry. This heavy industry is nothing but bulky raw materials to produce finished goods. Example is iron or steel industries. So these are very heavyweight industries where very high a large volume of product is formed, and these are specifically mineral based. Okay, and the light industries, these are very industries which use light raw materials to produce light finished good. Example is maybe the electric bulb or electric fan. So they are use the light materials, and the product is also a light product. Then under source raw material, we have agro industries or agro based industries. So this includes animal and plants produced products that are used in agro based industries, including vegetable oil, food processing, dairy products, leather industries, and cotton textile, and followed by the mineral rolls, where the different type of minerals are collected from the earth crust and they are processed, and a different type of minerals are produced. So the iron ore is the mineral industry that is very much common in Odisha. We have Impha in Chaudwar. So this is a iron based industry. So marine industry, we have the sea or ocean products. The examples are marine food and that are produced fish oil. Then we have forest industry, forest based industry. This include using product obtained from forest for timber processing, pulp and paper. This is the industry that is totally depend on the forest. Pharmaceutical industry also that include in the forest industry, because many plant parts like root, leaf, timber, it's wood, flower. These are, can be these are used for the production of different medicines or medical products. Then under forest industry, we have mobilization and buildings are industries associated with the forest. Also, this is also correct, because in from forest we can also get very huge amount of house building materials. Under the basis of size, we have three type of industries. There is small scale, medium scale, and large scale. So small scale, it include cottage and domestic industries that are a kind of small business. Uh, just wait. So under small scale industries, we have cottage or domestic industries that are of small kind of business, in which production of goods is carried out by the craftsmen. These industries can include, for example, we have weaving, pottery, and other handicraft industries, small scale industries there. And we have also medium scale, that is very much little bit larger than the small scale. And in this medium scale, we can have some um, from textile industries. We have some mechanical industries. Okay, so under large scale industries, we have large quantity of goods are produced. Capital spending is higher, because in broad companies the infrastructure utilizes is superior. For example, automobile production. So this is a very large scale industry. So on the leadership or membership, we have private sector. As we know, private companies are held by individual or group of people and operated by them. We have public sector, or this is the state government sponsored industry. The government controls and manages the public sector enterprises such as Steel Authority of India Limited and Hindustan Aeronautic Limited, which is situated in Koraput, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, and SAIL, that is situated or established in Raurkela Steel Plant. And so these are all state government control. Okay, So then we have the joint sector type. So such industries are managed and run by the state, individual, and a group of individuals. So these are a joint venture from both the government and as well as the private sector. For example, we have Maruti Udyog Limited. So the Maruti Udyog Limited is a co-venture, that is a joint venture of government and the Maruti company. Then we have corporate sector. As we know, in corporate sector, these are the industry that are owned and operated by the producers or supplier of raw materials, workers, or both. For example, Amul Milk Limited. So this is just a corporate sector, as this is the company or industry that is fully operated by the producer and the worker. And there is another last type of company, that is multinational company. In short, it is MNC. So MNCs are those companies that operate in other countries along with our home country. For example, Microsoft, IBM, Google. So these are all your multinational companies. Then under miscellaneous, we have village. So village industries means they are situated in villages or rural areas to have the needs of the villagers or rural people. For example, industry involved grinding of grains. So industry involved in grinding of grains, it is an example of your village industry. In cottage industry, we have artist and skilled workers, running their own houses. And the examples are handloom industries, khadi, gram, udyog, etc. So these are the cottage. Then we have consumer good industry. Consumer good industry. Then under this industry, that is consumer good industry, we have um, uh, that industry that convert the raw material and primary products into finished good directly used by the people. Example is bakery industry. Then we have the basic industry. This industry depends on their on other industries for their manufacturing process, like iron and steel industry, which is very much depends on this mineral based industry. So if the mineral is supplied by the mineral based industry, then the your basic industries are can run. Ancillary industry. So these industries manufacture components which are then utilized by big countries like trucks and buses. So this is very understandable. So then capital intensive, that is related to our finance, and labor intensive, these are also related to human labor. So all these industries are just explained here, which I have already stated out. So just go through this type of industries we have. Then after that, we have factors affecting the location of the industry. So this is a very vital or very crucial aspect, that whenever we establish a industry, its location is very much a big factor, that where to establish a industry. Okay, so this includes your transportation, labor and property, including goods, electricity, and other maintenance costs. So all these factors are responsible for the establishment of a industry. Then we have factors which affect industrial location are land availability, raw material, water, labor, capital, power, market, transport. So these are all different type of factors on which the industrial location depends. So industry is located wherever all or any of these variables are simple to reach. So as we know, these are the basic needs of an industry to establish. That is, it should have a land availability must be there, raw material supply, supply of water, labor availability, capital, that is the finance, power, electricity, market, transport. These are all very common factors that is very much necessary or needed to establish a factory or an industry. Categorization of the industry on the basis of its pollution that it produced. So, on the basis of the pollution uh, it produces, the industries are categorized into three types: red industry, orange industry, and green industry. And also another type of industry is there, that is known as white industry, where the pollution is minimal. That is, yeah, the pollution index is below 10. Okay, so this segregation or categorization of industry was formulated by Ministry of Forest, Environment, and your Climate Change Department. So when these criteria are established by Central Pollution Control Board or State Pollution Control Board. Okay, just wait. Hello. Huh. No. So next we have the categorization of industry on the basis of the pollution it produced. So that is of green, orange, and the red industry, and also that white industry is there. The C, this one. So this is the picture we have, where pollution indexing is there. So where the pollution indexing is up to 20, that is below 20, the industry can be categorized under white pollution index. Then we have green pollution 21 to 40. This is 41 to 59. Then it's 60 and above. This is red pollution industry. So this is a type of framework that is known as pollution index, that is PI, and it is ranges from 0 to 100, and depending on the various aerial parameters like your suspended particulate matter and particulate matter, the concentration of carbon dioxide, concentration of carbon monoxide, concentration of nitrogen trioxide, sulfur trioxide. So these are the hazardous radicals or parameters to the air pollution. But depending on the concentration or the percentage of the component present in the air, this can be categorized into various type that depends on the pollution index. Okay, and the pollution index depend on, so it ranges from 0 to 100. So it is very much easy to remember that that is 0 to 20, 21 to 40, 41 to 59, and 60 and above, it is the red zone. Then we have sitting and setting criteria for EIA. So environmental impact assessment is a process of identifying, predicting, evaluating, and mitigating the biophysical, social, and other relevant effect of the development proposal prior to major decision being taken and commitment made. So these are the things are there that is based on different your small scale industries. We have large scale industries also there. So under this category, we just discuss the things like industrial estate, park complex, export processing zone, special economic zone, biotechnology park. So these are all under your industrial estate for EAA notification process. The Minister of Industry is responsible for industrial planning and development. As we know, that Ministry of Environmental, Forest and Climate Change, that he that ministry is responsible for this, and the organization which is under the control of Ministry of environmental forest and climate change. This is the CPCB or SPCB we have. So, and also there are for industrial lookout, we have state industrial development corporation in different corporation in different states, and we have also development authority. We have development authority. We have so various organization, various level of authorities are there for to set the EIA project or setting the EIA project. So before drafting, we must plan accordingly that what are the different parameters or factors that may affect the industrial establishment in that particular area, and accordingly we will plan our drafting, plan our ground level preparation for the establishment of that project. So this is the different measures in selecting acceptable, that is known as IE location. Includes it includes what are the locations we have, what are the sorry different factors we have, that is environmental friendly factor, identifying suitable site for industrial establishment, development for polluting industries, that is suitable site or location or area must be needed, giving detail about the environmental sensitivity of the search area. This is in your application. Avoidance of the sensitive area, assessment of seating potential of the search area by identifying suitable site of IEs. Then we have identification of the category of industry which should be permitted in such IEs by calculating the volume and spatial scale of adverse effects after evaluating pollution potential for certain industries and that the threats to the ecosystem. So we should aware our uh, the type of site or a type of industry we are planning to set in the near future. The recommend essential wastewater treatment technology must be there. Water disposal facility or any other for infrastructure, it must be very much look out before the establishment of the industry. Furnishing ideal shielding area around the IE. This is very important that the vicinity, to protect the vicinity area or the nearby areas from the population industrial waste. We should seal the area, controlling and mitigate detrimental environmental effect of land uses and of IEs. And the last one is the identification of social consequences of industrial establishment at a given site and proposes prevention and reimbursement measure if appropriate. So then site planning and development, how we are selected, we will go, we will select a site for our industrial project and how it can be developed. So the first one is the energy conservation measures. So this is nowadays government is uh, very much sensitive for use of renewable source, for the use of non-renewable source of energy, and government is promoting to use, to avail the renewable energy sources for different works. For example, government is giving subsidy who are buying electronic vehicle like Ola bikes, they are battery bikes, electronic vehicle. So accordingly, we have energy conservation measures should be there. That is, it may include the installation of solar panels to have the general electric use. Okay. Then the second thing is the disaster management. So disaster management must be carefully implemented, because whenever a disaster or an accident or an sudden incident is happening, then at that time, if we have a good disaster management plan, then we can cope with the disaster or the accident, and accordingly we can mitigate the situation. Inclusion of social infrastructure like housing, so this is very much important, that is infrastructure is needed. Use of renewable source of energy already stated. Long term vision, the international competitiveness. So whenever we are trying to establish an industry, we should have the idea that in which country or in which location or area the similar type of industry is established, and how they are performing or how they are learning how they are running their industry. By knowing the details of this, we will have the idea how to set an industry for long term vision. Okay, then explore synergies of coexistence, that is a partnership like thing. Optimal utilization of available land. So whatever the land is available to us, we should have the aim for its optimal utilization without polluting the land. That is very important. Integration of operation and management aspects. So management and operation must be integrated to have a productive work. Optimal use of natural resources. So whatever natural resources we have, like sunlight, wind, some minerals, maybe that is non-renewable. Then we have water resources are there. So whatever natural resources whatever natural resources are available, we should utilize the natural resources as far as possible. Traffic management, including public transport. So this is also a part. Whenever we have planning to establish an industry, so this may be treated as a master plan for the establishment of an industry we have looking for. So shape of the site. So that is also important, that whatever the shape, whether it is circular or it is rectangular or square type shape of the land is available for establishment of the land industry. So accordingly we plan. Location of the site, whether the location is far from the market or town, whether it is near, how near it is with respect to the town, and what is the location, what is the civilization or people they reside near the vicinity of the industry, and these are the things are there. Factors influencing sorry this is factors influencing development cost and construction of an IE. So this is just a financial matter, that whatever our cost and what is our budget for the establishment of that IE, and accordingly we plan. And the size of the site, so this is also an important factor, that the magnitude we have, and accordingly we will plan. Sushmita Pal, please mute. So then this is some of the again some of the important things where whenever we are going to establish an industry, and this is for your requirements for ideal site for an industrial establishment, light and medium industry. So gentle slope for drainage, good ground bearing condition for foundation. So the foundation must be strong for establishment of an industry. This is the civil work we have, and also we should have a gentle slope for drainage. Good access by main road to the city, port, and airport. So there must be good access of transportation to city, port, and airport, and adequate water supply, adequate stormwater drainage network, reliable electricity supply and telecommunication, A satisfactory method of disposing of solid waste is also needed. Facilities for treating industries effluent and a mean of disposing of the effluent after treatment. That is, one setup is there, that is known as ETP, that is effluent treatment plant, is there in every industry, where the spillage or polluted oils are liberated out after the processing of the raw material to the product, and that spilling or waste oils are again treated in ETP plant, that is effluent treatment plant, and after that the oil is disposed of without hampering the environment. So this is the things in our unit 8. Then in our unit 9 we have describing of the environmental setting. So how an industry set up uh, by proper planning of the environmental setting. So we have a table here, that is, for example, we have wind farm exclusion method, fewer than two turbine, hub height less than 75 centimeter, this can be excluded. And what are the inclusion? Visual and noise impacts are likely with 5 or more turbines and more than 5 megawatt of generating capacity. So this is a statistics that is from an research article from Scheme in 2008. So according to this research article, uh, so this huge height and huge length of turbine can be avoided, and it can be replaced by small turbines which has the less noise, and the turbine is more efficient to produce 5 megawatt of energy. Industrial estate project, the area is 0.5 hectare, it can be excluded. An increase in traffic noise and emission more likely with development of more than 20 hectare. Wastewater treatment plant, the area of development doesn't exceed 1000 meter square. The inclusion part, it includes site area more than 10 hectare. Discharges from more than 1000 people requires compliance with the directive 91 by 271 by EEC concerning urban wastewater treatment plant. So then we have the term threshold and criteria refers to procedure which makes the use of quantitative or qualitative stated triggers to include or exclude the given project from EIA requirement. That is 9.1. Just see here. You see what are the inclusion and what are the inclusion exclusion things are there. So M and A Ivory EIA. We have inclusion method, case by case consideration requirement for EIA, that is EIA more likely to be required, screen borderline proposal for significant environmental effects. Then EIA is rule out for what type of projects it is less likely to be required but still screened for significance, where the location is sensitive or if there is a potential for cumulative effect. This is exclusive threshold. So as far as I know, threshold level means it is the optimal level beyond which the pollution or the industry may be turned off. Maybe the EIA report it becomes negative. So there for that type of your that type of industry, the EIA doesn't give you the environmental clearance. So uh, your industry must be an inclusive one, and it should have the permissible pollution or polluted data, permissible data within the your permissible limit. So high impact projects, so these are dams, reservoirs, forestry and production projects. Second one, large scale, it is industrial plant. Again, the large scale, we have irrigation, drainage, flood control. Oil and gas, we have mining and mineral, and so many projects are there. Just you just try to remember 3 to 4 high impact projects. It may become in your TE examination. Approaches for developing a list of environmental factors. So this is a listing of environmental factor for a project. So this is very much available in online, because nowadays the app is Parivesh app. So you just create your login and password. After that, you just check the checklist. What are the documents needed for this project to apply for EIA or environmental clearance? So under list of environmental factors for a proposed project, we have an initial list of environmental factor of potential relevance to a proposed project may be first determined through extensive literature review. So you should have the literature review part, because without undergoing the review of literature, you are not have that much of expertise knowledge, uh, or you have not the mastery of knowledge on that particular topic or particular setup of a industry. So review of the recent EIA on similar project or project in the same geographical area as the proposed project, and the uses of professional knowledge regarding the anticipated impact of similar projects. So we should have the review of literature that is very much similar to our proposed project. And the second one is, then a selected list of pertinent environmental factor for a given project can be screened through site visit, interdisciplinary team discussion, professional judgments, criteria question, and so on. So these are some of the uh, action that is undertaken by the reviewer committee or the executive committee appointed by your central government or state government. So there is a site visit, discussion, judgment, questioning will be there. So this is the one type of your review part is there. Then under 3 we have site visit can provide familiarization with an area in question and enable more effective review to extend environmental data. The site visit is nothing but a ground zero report or survey report is there. So after site visit, the reviewer or the expert is very much clear uh, for the establishment of that industry. Interdisciplinary team discussion can lead to greater familiarity with project impact and possibly to the identification of pertinent environmental factors not included in any initial list. So interdisciplinary team discussion is very important. Professional judgment can be a part of interdisciplinary team discussion, or it can be solicited during conversation with recognized expert in relevant discipline for a project. So, so these are the some of the listing of environmental factor for a proposed project. So there is your review of literature, followed by your site visit, interdisciplinary discussion, and after that it is the judgment. So the 3 criteria question used for recognizing and screening of the associated environmental factors are summarized. That is, will the environmental factor be affected either beneficially or adversely, but any of the alternative under study. So these are the reviewer comment after the site visit and after the thorough thorough study of your proposed project drafting. Then again, will the environmental factor exert an influence on project scheduling or a subsequent operational phase of any other alternative? So if there is adverse effect or adverse uh, adverse or harmful effect is there in your project, the reviewer committee will suggest you the alternative ways to how you can also do the same thing but in different way. Is the factor of particular public interest or controversy within the local community. So this can be possible whenever a review committee is visit the site. If they are visiting the site, they are able to know what are the public interest or is there any controversy within the local community. So informational source for environmental factor. So there are many informational sources are there, like collecting and evaluating an assessment of the proposed project. So the information can be collected from uh, your survey report, can be collected from your central pollution control board or state pollution control boards are there. So there are some centers or organizations are there which will help the reviewer committee to have the information related to that project. The primary data and the secondary data, two type of resources, source of data are there. And the primary data is collected through field study, which is already stated, which include monitoring and survey. And the your secondary data, that is coming from your primary data. Okay. So the secondary data or the information collected from the include reports, database, inventories, and survey of local communities. So these are some of the physical and chemical data we have. That is the factors used in baseline studies. For physical parameters, we have area, soil structure, topography, water set property, etc. In chemical, we have water, air, noise, etc. In biology, we have flora, fauna, biodiversity, richness of species, etc. Under socio-economic, under socio-economic we have demography, social structure, all these. Then our cultural, we have location and state of archaeological and religious sites. Then how EIA baseline data is derived from. It is a special data which can be collected from remote sensing and geographic information system, the GIS, and also non-spatial data. It provides detail of socioeconomic factor which are mandatory for studying the public health, safety, and socioeconomic environment. Just go through these things. We have some basic maps are there which also provide us some valuable data or valuable interpretation of the project. Then we have the data from the thematic map. So that is a geo-referencing of topo sheets based on ground control point, age matching of topo sheets, and preparation of digital mosaic depicting complete project site and also buffer areas. Then geocoding, satellite data, image restoring, data analysis methods. So these are all nowadays the technical methods are there for to interpret or to analysis the data which are very much reputed in the drafting. Then we have purpose of information collection. So why we are collecting this information? With the help of baseline data collection, the change in the environmental component can be predicted, compared, and can be actually evaluated. It provides the basis of detecting the actual change by carrying out the monitoring of the project after its initiation. So these are the two purposes why we collect the data. Method of information, we have general method, that is scaling, weighing, questionnaire, matrices, etc. Resource based, that may be sampling technique, species area curve, inventory, participatory rural appraisal, rapid rural appraisal. So these are some of the examples of resource based methods. And how the data is processed. The data can be processed on the basis of the type of data we have, that it according to collecting the raw data, it is converted to understandable information by thorough interpretation. If for physical data, we may be use table, graph, figure, enumerations, etc. For biological data, we have number, volume, density, and biomass of the species. For diversity species, we have the number of species per area sampled through species richness of particular area, and data collected from it can be used to process of biological data. And at the end, we have socioeconomic data, which is very much can be analyzed on the basis of the male, female, skilled, semi-skilled, or non-skilled. So these are the data can be by this type the data can be analyzed. Then we have decision making in EIA, that is after screening, scoping. The decision making is depends on the type of impact the project has in the community, that is public and the environment. So there is term of reference, TOR is there, that is before your decision making. So term of reference for several projects is the information, it is alternatives, it may have some alternatives, project and alternative information is there, environmental setting, mitigation and control, environmental management plan, and written commitment statement and annexure. So there are various steps to TOR of several projects. So decision making. So before decision making is the background of the project. So project background and important environmental issues. Policy context. We have some of the rules and regulations and some policies with notifications are there. So to which policy our the project proposal is fit, that is vital development issue, problem being addressed, relationship with environmental policies plan. So this improves your policy context. So alternative to the projects, if any harmful or any negative impact of the project is there, so we may suggest some alternatives. Public environment, key public view, concern of affected communities, followed by impact prediction. Then after that, impact analysis will be there. What are the gain or loss of the project? Mitigation and monitoring procedure will be there. How the negative impact can be mitigated and how it can be monitored. And after that, it is the conclusion. So these are the different steps for the decision making. So direct direction for decision makers. So they must have the EIA procedure, and if they wish for better EIA, they may be go for the strategic environmental assessment, and environmental accounting is also there. So then we have the required data or informations we have, that is backstory of the proposal, policy detail, alternative option, incorporation of public reviews, considerable effect, duty enforced on decision making. So the duty enforced on the executive committee and the state executive committee to have to make the decision, and the result, the proposal is accepted or not, they depend on the impact assessment, impact evaluation, and the alternative that is proposed by the executive committee. Then we have safeguard on decision making. So decision making must be safeguarded. No approval of project without EIA report. Information gathered helps in acceptance and environmental setting, consideration of public opinion. Permission can be denied, withheld, or modified. Concerned party has a right to appeal. So, if a decision is made for a particular project, that decision may be challenged in High Court or Supreme Court. So, decision uh, must be must be taken very carefully, by obeying all the rules and regulations framed by MEV-16. Implementation of judgment. So, if your process, if your project is a qualitative one, then it should have the plan preparation and incorporation of ISO 14001. So this is very much required for an industrial purpose. EIA significance in the decision making process. So after all the assessment of the impact, its analysis of impact and alternative prediction. Then the final EIA report is framed and it is placed before the judgment committee, and the judgment committee will read out all the EIA report, and after that the final decision making is carried out. Then just see this flow chart, that is the technical analysis, physical, socio-economic, ecological and other. Then after technical analysis, we have the information we have, and with information we have the public participation, and the information gathered with public participation is is used by the experts to prepare the EIA report. The EIA report is used for the decision making by the concerned authority by prioritizing problems, prioritizing action, ensuring effective and implementation, and other inputs are there. Then the TOR is nothing but your term of reference. So this is actually a report that define objective and framework of the project. It is actually the report that defined objective and framework of the project, and it includes the impact, that is the impact analysis, impact mitigation, then your impact prediction, so future alternatives. So all these things are there for the formulation of TOR. So what is the objective of TOR? TOR identifies sector specific concern. EIA lays various directives to research purpose of TOR. Is an important paper in EIA. TOR proper format and structure to EIA defines project research motives, scope of the project, and stakeholder requirements. What are the contents of TOR? Project summary, organization accountable to the project, summary of the baseline condition, environmental element likely to be affected, probably a possibly likely impact, listing of endemic species, information derived from secondary sources and baseline data, possible solution in terms of feature, site, technology, execution of the project. If the site of the project falls within the special category and the law is in respect of the same. So these are all some of the important factors that is very much needed for the formulation of TOR, terms of reference. At the end, we have expertise needed in conducting EA research, estimate the time limit for the entire EIA research, valuation of natural resource if required, evaluation of cost benefit analysis. So, so by look after all these points, the TOR is framed. So this is an example how TOR is prepared. Just go through these things. Yeah, we just ran short of time. So this is a description of alternative. The alternative to the location with respect to latitude and longitude, with respect to the entry to the site, with respect to the policy administrative place. So all these things are there. That is before selection of a site, we should have proper government and no objection certificate for that land or that site. Then we have, this is the hydropower or core hydropower plant architecture and technical features. Just go through. This is just a case study for a road project. What are the different type of projects can be framed and how the TOR is framed. Then we have environmental setting. So EIS should include detail of environmental condition, including geographical, biological, socio-economic, cultural environment of present and expected future condition. So whether the environment has some volcanic site from seismicity side, that is earthquake. So these things should be taken into account. Soil resource, water resource, then we have climate and meteorology. So these are the factors we have for before setting of a industry. What are the vegetation or flora that may be hamper fish and aquatic resources, then ecosystem, protected area, socio-economic, cultural environment. So all these factors are there before establishment of an industry. Okay. Then the political, archaeological, historical asset, land use must be very much careful. We should be assessment of impact. We have the prediction of impact, assessment of impact, then mitigation of impact. Three types of there. So impact may be assessed the physical impact, geographical resource and hazard. What are the mitigation process? What how it is assessed? Water supply. What is the quantity, quality we have? Air and environmental impact. We have a different type of air and environmental type samples are there, and how it can be assessed by using different scientific techniques, by using the labs of Central Pollution Control Board and State Pollution Control Board. The noise and vibration must be assessed carefully. Then the aesthetic and visual resources, that is it is due to the sunlight or the various lights that are present, biological effect. So there is flora and fauna effect, biodiversity effect. So we should have that much of sense or awareness to deal with this type of effect. Aquatic effect are there, wildlife resources, what are the extinct animals or extinct vegetations, and so all these factors should be in our mind or in our discussion before establishment of an industry in a particular area. So how it can impact the public health, how it can impact the safety of the worker, the infrastructure must be carefully um, carefully investigated. Then we have mitigation and control step, how the impact can be mitigated or controlled. If we have the geological resource and hazard, what is the controlling, that is excavation on site examination, and geotechnical research is there for this type of hazard. Then soil, we have the very the best way is the afforestation, that is plantation. If we go for planting more and more trees, then soil pollution or soil erosion can be controlled. And water the same way, quality management system, it can be done with a spill prevention, solid waste management technique, toxic waste management plan. So these are some of the plan to safeguard the water resource. Then the how the quantity of water can be minimized for its use. It is regulatory steps such as minimum flow, river level fluctuation threshold to protect essential organisms. So if we are used uh, plenty of water for industrial purpose, then what happen? Then what happen? Our water content or water quantity decreases, and the aquatic animal ultimately suffers. Likewise, the air sample can be assessed through different scientific techniques, and the corresponding and the respective mitigation steps can be taken. Noise and vibration, the same way, aesthetic and aesthetic capital we have. biological impact. So all these are very much controlled by the scientific way of control. In socio-economic, we have relocation action plan. If there is some for the project, some people lost their habitat or some people lost their houses, then the relocation action plan is developed by it's formulated by the government to relocate that civilization or the people to another location. So this type of measures can be taken. The infrastructure is there. Environmental management plan. This is a very much important thing, that is environmental management plan. So how we can manage the environment properly by restricting the industrial pollution and by controlling the natural resources. So just go through these things. The written commitment statement. This is can be done by the proponent. Done can be done by the proponent, and the written statement is there, which is to be submitted before the EIA committee, that is before the experts, and they will uh, keep these as the undertaking by the proponent. Then in the next unit we have the EIA reporting. This is already discussed in yesterday's class. So how the EIA reporting is done. So before the EIA reporting, the first one is screening of the project, scoping of the project on the basis of your TOR, and the impact prediction, impact assessment, then the mitigation process, and is there any alternative, then the public hearing or public participation is there. So by accumulating all these factors, the EIA report is finally written. Okay. So this is executive summary EIA report. Statement of need and objective of the proposal should be included. Related legislative, regulatory and policy framework should be there. Description of the process, enlisting of alternatives, project area, land use together, related policy, plan of area, baseline and socioeconomic data, identifying anticipated changes before execution of project. So, and your public consultation, the key positive and negative impacts are there. Assessment of the implication of outstanding impact, if possible. And last one is the environmental management plan, which is very much important for the mitigation and monitoring of the impact we have. And along with these, we have term of references, which include your project description, project site, alternative, prevailing environment and baseline data collection, determination of probable impact, analysis and estimation of risks, preparation of environmental management plan, mitigation and monitoring plan, resettlement action plan. So these are all included in your TOR. So after that, the EIA quality, that is well-defined structure with a logical sequence. So this is the sequence: existing socio-economic baseline condition, predict the impact, mitigation, accepted mitigation measure, implication of inevitable impact for each environmental concern. An ideal EIA must have executive summary, table of content, consent procedure, complete with suitably laid objectives, be written in balanced manner, have comprehensive account of development proposal, make use of drawing, graphics, picture and support the text, use steady terminology with glossary, give reference of the information sources used, clearly explain the complex issues, describe the methodology opted for realizing each objective, consistently cover each environmental aspects, provide evidence of consultation process, have clear debate on planned alternative, have a binding to mitigation monitoring. So students, all these things can be realized by you uh, during your project paper. If you at that time you also have the idea to prepare a project proposal. So EIA is the final project. So it is the report based on your proposal that is submitted by the proponent. So if you are going for a project, so before that you should have the project proposal approval. So for that approval, you should have a sense that what is your project, what is your objective, what is your problem, that is statement of the problem, what are the review of literature you are going, you already gone through, and what is the your area of study, what is your methods and methodology you adopted for mitigation or to overcome that problem, what is the probable solution, what is the conclusion you have, and what is the future aspects or future scope your project has. So all these things are there in your project proposal. So site project description. So if an committee visit a site, they will take the photograph, layout of the map, process flow program diagrams will be there. So all these are very much simple things. You just go through all these, and these are this is not easy to remember all these things very sequentially. Just try to read out all these things once and try to make a general idea that what is the sequence of environmental impact assessment and how the report is written and how the proponent is submitting his or her proposal to the component authority. Okay, component authority. Then we have structure of the EIA report. This is the blueprint, project setting, TOR, result, alternative, key impact, brief description of mitigation, and then the plan. Then section 3 we have necessity and aim of the proposal. This is very important. The legal and policy framework, explanation of project alternatives we have, and section 6 your description of the affected environment. This includes your environmental management plan EMP. Then we have some lab system called a field investigation. Okay, so for ecological environment, what is the lab system? Just go through this public hearing and feedback. This is at the end. Then the assessment of environmental impact. The same things are written repeatedly. Okay, you just read out all the things. Then in 11 we have appendices, some there, some annexes are there. A list of content, list of abbreviation, all the things are. EIA review process will be there by the reviewer committee, and if your EIA report is very much satisfied, then you will get the environmental clearance to carry out your project. If it is not up to the mark, then your project may be rejected, and you are suggested to submit your project again, and accordingly the same process is carried out again. Too many things are there. How it is possible to cover all these within 1 hour? So just go through these things. Okay, the same things are there. Just keep a general idea how environmental impact assessment is carried out, what are the different steps, and how different organization or different committees are involved making the EIA report and so on. So this is all about your block 3, and let's have a 5-minute break, and after that I will discuss the block 4, and this is the last block we have, and that relates your EIS risk assessment and risk assessment method. The 3 units are there. That is environmental impact statement, that is EIS. So how, what is this and how it is can be related to our EIA, what are the different aspects are there. So we will have this unit after 5 minutes. So you just take some water, and then after that we will have the class. Okay, just 3 to 4 minutes. I am coming. Welcome back, students. So now we will discuss your last block of MEV-16, that is Unit 12, and it is all about your environmental impact statement, and it is under your TOR, that is term of reference uh, section. And in this and this is it is a notification that is framed in 1994, along with that environmental Protection Act notification. So environmental clearance procedure, under this we have project requiring environmental clearance. What type of project that required? It is very much clear that is A and B1 type. Public hearing committee, public hearing procedure, then content of EIS, documentation of environment EIS, general recommendation for writing EIS, and visual documentation method. So this is just a impact assessment or impact statement, and this is under your scoping step. That the first one is screening, second is scoping. So under scoping we have impact prediction, impact assessment, and impact mitigation. So all these impact related things, this is make a statement, and that statement is known as impact environmental impact statement. So this is already there in 1994 notification, and EIA covers number of issues related to proposed project, baseline condition, potential impact on environment, land use and related changes, waste generation and its management, water power consumption, social health, etc. An environmental clearance procedure, already it is stated in first block, that is environmental clearance is from the project A type, it is from MOEFCC, and project B1 type, it is from SIEAA, that is state government. And after your EIA report, which is very much thoroughly scrutinized, thoroughly analyzed by the executive committee, and after that your environmental clearance is made. Then this is again the same thing. This is a screening, scoping, public consultation and appraisal. This is the executive appraisal committee or state executive appraisal committee. So the thing is more or less same. And after that we have the project requiring environmental clearance. We know that type A and type B1. So these two only require the EC, and type B2, this is a very small scale project which doesn't require EIA report. So the project that include or that require EC, that is environmental clearance, that is nuclear power plant, port, harbor, airport, chemical fertilizer, highway project, dyes, hydrocyanic acid. This is viscose staple fiber, s- storage batteries. All these are listed. Just try to remember the 4 to 5 project types that require EC. Then category of A, category of B, it is already there. Just read out the things. Already these are very much discussed in our block 1 and block 2, and this is your list of project requiring prior EC according to EIA. So before going to the going to the project, this type of projects require the prior EC from the concerned authority according to 2006 notification, like our mining of mineral, offshore and onshore oil gas exploration, thermal power plant, coal resources. So these are all related to non-renewable source of energy, and some manufacturing of chemical fertilizer, petrochemical complexes, distillers, pulp and paper industry. So all these are there. So public hearing committee, this is constituted according to the 2006 notification, and the district collector will be the chairman or key person of this committee. And we have the district development body or executive committee will be there. State Pollution Control Board members are there. Department of Environmental Forest members are there. Tahsil or Gram Panchayat representative, a citizen of the district. So all these all are the members of your public hearing committee. And accordingly, your public hearing procedure that public participation provides a chance to those who are directly affected by a project to express their view on the probable environmental and social impact of the project. So for this reason only public hearing procedure is included in 2006 notification. So what is the procedure we have? The procedure is the committee is framed, the project, the detail of the project is explained before the committee, and all experts give their opinion, and after that the gram panchayat representative or senior citizen of the district or the locality place their view before the committee, and accordingly the final public procedure hearing decision is framed, and it is they make a resolution, and that resolution is attached to the EIA report for further environmental clearance procedure. So content of EIS, that is environmental impact statement. So it describes the impact of proposed development activity on the environment. EIS report varies from project to project and even area to area. So EIS account of proposed action and selection of alternative to the project of proposed action, nature and magnitude of probable environmental effects, documentation of important human concerns, ecological resources including floodplains and wetlands, economic and demographic factors. Just read out these things, okay? The documentation of EIS. So documentation, we have an ideal EIS should have a methodological assessment of all important environmental outcomes, organized, methodological and inclusive approach, process leading to a statement to direct the decision makers, process which require the designer to review the plan, process which has the probability to boost the responsibility of developer to the public. So these are having some characteristics of an ideal environmental impact statement, and EIS must be a clear statement of recognized effect and possible alternate development possibilities, an analytical mechanism, and estimate the changes in the quality of current environment because of proposed activity. It should be subject to independent, objective review of outcomes. It should consider both environment and economic cost benefit analysis. So these are the some significant characteristics of EIS. Then we have structure and design. We have preliminary activities, scoping, baseline condition, environmental impact assessment, mitigation measures, assessment of alternate measures, decision making, monitoring of execution, and impact of project. So the sequence is more or less same as the our environmental impact assessment report. So EIS predicts the expected changes on following features, that is physical. Under physical, we have change in downstream transportation of sediment, river erosion, slope instability, deforestation. Just these are some examples. Just read out these things and you have a good idea. So local population, you have accessibility of river, displacement and resettlement of people, emotional trauma due to displacement. Then under local economy, we have disturbance in local economy and disruption of existing transport network, submergence of cultural, archaeological, then architectural, artificial artifacts, impact on historicity sites. So some of the recommendation for writing EIS. This is the general requirement of EIS documentation. This is the content and this is the recommendation. How we are write the EIS. So it must have high quality information in a concise form. Draft must be able to satisfy the stakeholder. Very important. Full and fair discussion of important environmental impacts. must be clear, concise, written in simple language, readable and easily understandable, rigorously and objectively explore all possible alternatives, analytical rather than encyclopedic, that means not theoretical, evidence based analysis is acceptable, describe the range of alternative identified and evaluated reasonably. So this is the general requirement. So the content writing, it is well written, it must be well written, easily understandable, written in short sentences, use simple words rather than technical terms, written in short paragraph with focused content, having full and fair discussion, having rigorous but understandable and quantifiable analysis comparable with the regulatory standards, having public input, participation and disclosure process, having socio-economic and cost-benefit consideration, specify the unit reference definition, acronyms and abbreviation very carefully. Explaining the proposed developments. So this is just how to write your thesis, how to write a good project synopsis, project report. So this is the sequence we should follow before writing a particular project detail. So under explaining the proposed development, we should have on-site and off-site feature, existence of structure, building, etc., site work, normal and specific operation, secondary development. Then under feature of project, we have description of site layout. So site description must be there. Existence of project, so site layout preparation, construction activity, environmental protection measures, then again commissioning, then operation. Just read out these things. These are very much simple things. Description of changes of the project, environmental topic, pollution and human health, how the environmental impact this project has, the population and human health, biodiversity, land and soil, water, air, how the environment is affected by the project. Then then after that air we have noise, vibration, radiation, climate, landscape, material asset, cultural heritage, etc. Then again, the sample checklist of items of hydroelectric process. This is an example how we can frame the EIS. Then we have the next that is visual documentation method. So for digital documentation method nowadays, your GIS and GPS systems are there. That is geographical information system or global positioning system is there for look out the exact date, exact location with the exact time. So these are all photographical or your videographic evidences to your project. So change these geospatial tool combined with the impact assessment process can help change revealing study, demarcation of ecological zone, ground level ozone, natural resource, sea level rise to global warming, soil erosion. So this can be predicted. So under GIS, we can complex modeling, representation technique, inventory of data, cumulative impact assessment, change detection analysis, creation of maps, evaluation of cumulative impacts. So these are all there. Then we have the next unit that is related to risk assessment. Where there is impact, there is negative impact, there must be risks. So whenever a risk is there, the risk again it is categorizes and the risk management or risk assessment is accordingly planned. So in this unit we have what are the scope or sources of risk assessment, project planning, stages of risk assessment, exposure risks, categorization of risks. So this is all about your risks. So assessment, exposure, characterization of risks, dose response assessment, identification of risk, ecological component of environment, physiochemical component of environment. So, under risk assessment, EIA can be achieved by many approaches, addressing the actual or perceived risks, calculation or determination relative risk index, relative comparison of perceived risks of alternative being evaluated, a quantitative probabilistic approach. So this is the objective. This is the scope of risk. That is what can go wrong. Why the risk is created or is generated by the impact. It is due to the wrong work that is done or wrong mindset that is being there, which leads to the risk generation. So, what impact might affect the human health, natural environment? What is the cause and effect of the risk? What is the degree of harmfulness? How many people could affected? How much geographical area is affected? How detrimental the effect would be? So, these are all the probability questions or probability reasons why the risk is there in the project. Then the scope can be find out from the background of the project, demographic information, data evaluation, risk assessment of human health, exposures assessment, etc. So this is again an example of our air quality, noise quality, how the scope of assessment is there. For example, in ambient air quality, assessment of emission in air due to traffic, mining, construction activity during the construction operation and decommissioning and maintaining the same as per the prescribed standard. So these are all some examples. We go through these things. Project planning, before going to plan a project, you should have the goal of acceptable by the executive committee, that is convincing, that is it must be convince you must able to convince the executive committee for their environmental clearance. It should be easily understandable, it should be precise and concise, quantifiable, time bound with concrete deadline. Then we have the defining of the project. So, okay, if we go for an example of power project, then what is the required condition? So it is defining of the project. It is a drafting one, outline of the scope. It related to TOR and the impact. And after that, it is if you get the impact assessment, then the project planning is there. So under project planning, we have project map, risk assessment, define the action, and scheduling. So under project map and the risk assessment, defining the action, scheduling, we have different monitoring mechanism, reporting procedure, evaluation standard, implementation schedule. Then after that, the project is implemented, commissioning of the project is there, and operation and maintenance of the project is going on. So this is just a brief flow chart of the project proposal to execution of the project. Stages of risk assessment, we have defined the project purpose. Again, it is the example failure of the dam, flooding, mishap in shipping, natural disaster, existence of inflammable or explosive stuff. So these are all your different risks that can be created due to some lacuna from our side or from or in the operation. Then again, the same way in this flowchart, risk assessment is an important one is there, and how it can be assessed and it can be mitigated through different ways. estimation of risks, risk evaluation, risk management, monitoring management, exposure assessment, then again risk, how the risk is communicated. The risk communication must be clear and must be point to point or straightforward from the source to the receiver. And whenever we communicate the risks in very small time, stipulated time, then what happened, the uh, consequences of the risks may be minimized. Characterization of risks, we know it is health-based risk, chronic, chemical, if it is ecological, bioresource, aquatic, physical, etc. Human risk assessment, if any human risk is there with respect to his health, his life, then accordingly the risk is assessed and the mitigation steps can be taken. The WHO health risk factors from built environment, earning, heredity, literacy, connection, family and friend. Then physical environment is there, socio-economic environment, persons, individual characteristics and behavior is there. Then risks and hazards, both terms are very much correlated to each other, and both can be harm to health of life. The term risk is probability that a person may be affected and or suffer adverse health effect if is exposed to hazard. That means if it's a person, if it is exposed to hazard, then the risk factor came. Then the hazard may be of various type: biological hazard, chemical, ergonomic, physical and psychological. Then we have the assessment and management of human risk, that identification, analysis and evaluation, categorization, determining suitable method for its mitigation. And under this, we have removal of hazard, replacement of hazard, separation of hazard, engineering method, managerial approach, and use of proactive protective gears. So these all are the mitigation steps to mitigate or to reduce the hazard intensity, uh, or to reduce the risk to the human. Then we have some human risk assessment of developmental activity and project, risk parameter indicator monitoring step. For example, if loss of asset and misuse of compensation is there, then the parameter is asset, the indicator is household assess, and what is the monitoring method, household survey or informal interview. So depending on the type of risk, the respective mitigation step is carried out. And these are all examples of some hazards. I just keep just overview these things. Project proponent must ensure a provisional emergency healthcare clinic at the project site. Very important. If you go for a industrial or a project site development, then you should have a healthcare center. Sufficient fire safety measures must be there, that is fire extinguisher or water tanks must be there for a fire emergency. On the toilet, labor and staff must be there. No smoking zone, placing of appropriate safety sign, emergency management plan, controlling harmful breed of insects, organizing safety awareness workshop, engaging an emergency officer, a safety officer. Nowadays, safety officers are appointed by the industries to look after the safety aspects, providing protective gears like protective shoes, protective gloves, protective helmets. They are all supplied by the industry to the labor or the workers. So this is very much needed to minimize the risks. The reporting accident immediately to the engineer or the manager the industry have. The safe construction and technique are there. Safe handling, storage, transport of the chemicals must be looked after. So these are very much common. You can write easily in your government examination by using your IQ or general knowledge. Then ecological risk assessment is related to our ecology or ecosystem. Then bioassessment, cumulative geological assessment, ecological risk assessment, ecotoxicity analysis, environmental impact analysis, habitat evaluation, hazard assessment. Then we have identification of hazard, assessment of probable cause of hazard, characterization of risks, and risk management. So these four steps are included for your management of hazard as well as the risk. That how the mitigation of the ecology can be carried out, that the construction worker are prohibited from harvesting wood in projected area. These are all prohibition statement for the project area. Okay, so you just go through these tables. Different type of case studies are there. What are the different examples in different case studies, different assessment techniques, different mitigation techniques are there. These are all written here. And the last one is risk assessment method, how the risk is assessed and it can be mitigated accordingly. There are release assessment, exposure assessment, consequence assessment, and risk assessment method, what if analysis, fault tree analysis, and checklist analysis. So then we have if we go for risks, then the hazard, the term hazard, threat, danger, these words came, and these are very much related to the risks. Determines the probable impact of each hazard. It estimates the vulnerability of people, process, and property. Categorizes hazard and threat in context of severity, occurrence, and vulnerability. Then release assessment. Then how it can be assessed. It can be monitored. Performance testing, investigating accident, statistical method, and modeling. Then exposure assessment. How it is explored to how much area or how many people it is the exposure is expressed. So from this we can predict the intensity of the risk as well as the intensity of the hazard we have. Then we have the next one, that is the next is consequence of the assessment. We know that if the risk is very much carefully and very much clearly it is assessed, then the danger or the that is known as the harmful effect of the risks can be minimized. Designing of the noble facilities, risk assessment of a amenity of to provide feedback for safety, emergency planning and land use planning, suggesting ideal separation distance, assessing impact gap for main accidents. Then we have significant potential harm to people. On environmental, it may include magnitude of each probable adverse impact, change the baseline condition. So these are all the cause that leads to risk and the exposure to hazard of the human beings. So this is again one table which demonstrate level of harm, health and environment. If it is marginal, then ailment or not requiring medicinal treatment, then minimal dispersion to the biotic community. So these are the risk, hazard, and what is its mitigation step. So what are the methods? It is event tree analysis. It allows displaying of a sequence of event. That means you just make a tree-like analysis, that what is the cause, what is the assessment you have taken, what is the mitigation step you have just the all the things are written like a tree format, and then it is just correlated and examined or analyzed. Then failure model event analysis, FMEA, it is potential failure mode. So what is the potential failure the industrial has have that this type of hazard or risk is happening. So this is a step-by-step analysis method. Then hazard and operability analysis method. It is an organized and methodical procedure for system examination and risk management. It is often used as a method for recognizing probable hazard in a system and detecting problems that may lead to unusual outcome. So this depends. The risk is assessed on the basis of the hazard and its analysis. Incident bow and tie analysis. It is a combination of two analyses, that is bow tie risk analysis and tripod incident analysis. The data from the bow tie analysis can be used as feedback for the incident analysis, perceiving it from a large perspective and ensuring that all possible scenarios are taken into account. Then your indicator based, this is a reference based approach, quantitative risk assessment. So how far and how many area or people are exposed to the risks. Then a risk matrix method, event tree analysis, all these are there. What if analysis there, that it is undertaken to ascertain the threats, risk condition, or precise series of events that could result in detrimental effects or aftermaths. Generation of baseline information. This is the flow chart. That is screening. Again, the same way. Analysis of the design basic accident. Develop control and procedure comprehensive document. So this is an important question for your tournament examination. That is, what do you mean by what if analysis? That is inspection of a team developing what if question. That this is just like a questionnaire type research or survey, that if these things are there, then the risks can be minimized. If it is not there, then what will be the outcome? So this type of things are there in what if analysis. Is gas a mixture? What concentration is suitable for use? Is the cylinder maintained and stored properly? So this is just they contradict like procedure for the estimation of risk and analysis and hazard. Evaluating and assessing the risks, and always remember the risk rating, the probability of occurrence into severity of consequence values (CV). Then I just fault tree analysis, just go through these things, and this is just the end of this unit. And at the end we have the checklist, simple, descriptive, questionnaire, threshold, scaling and weighting, and all these are have the significance, and the definitions are here. And this is up to your MEV-16 paper. And during our today's class we just come through we just came through some of the aspect of your EIA reporting and EIS, that is environmental impact statement, as well as the risks and hazard, how a risk is assessed, risk is mitigated, and all these things are there. This is a very much familiar or day-to-day type topic or unit for you, and you just try to read out all the things, and try to remember the flow chart of the EIA, flow chart of the EIA reporting, then your EIS study, your risk management, risk assessment, what is hazard, and so on. So It is very difficult to cover all the things in 1 hour, but I am trying to highlight all the important things that your PDF or your blog has. And now the platform is very much open for discussion. Is there any queries, questions, suggestion, anything related to today's class, or your related to your program, related to your any paper, assignment, project, practical, anything else? You may ask, and I will answer one by one. Okay, so it is on you, students.
Sir, recently you told red, orange, white, and like four zones are there now. You have told industries.
Yes,
So how to know whether this industry belongs to which category? Is there any on online available?
there is pollution index. Indexing is there. Pollution index is ranging from 0 to 100 depending on the air quality, water quality. And if your industry after 1 year or after 2 year or after few years, so every year uh, there is what happened, that is known as the auditing. Yes, environmental auditing is there. If your environmental auditing, there is population pollution indexing is there. So depending on the pollutants or the your air quality, water quality, your pollution indexing is calculated with their predetermined formula. And if your pollution indexing is below 20, your industry is white. If it is more than 20 and less than 40, it is green. If it is 40 to 59, it is I think it is your white,
Orange.
orange, and then it is your red type. Okay.
Sir, where to get this data? Suppose I want to know whether Vedant belongs to red or green.
You can search the data in Vedant website or State Pollution Control Board.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So in MEV-16, more or less, for examination point of view, just remember you have the questions related to EIA reporting, flow chart of EIA, difference between 1994 notification and 2006 notification, then EIS, risk assessment, what is hazard, related to all these, you will get your question for your government examination. Nirakar Jena.
ସାର୍ ପ୍ରଣାମ ସାର୍ ସାର୍ ବୋଧେ ଆପଣ ପିଡିଏଫ୍ ପଠେଇ ପିଡିଏଫ୍ କରିଦେବେ ବୋଲି କହିଥିଲେ
ଆଉଥରେ କ'ଣ କହିଲ?
ସାର୍ ପିଡିଏଫ୍ ଦେବେ ବୋଲି କହିଥିଲେ ପିଡିଏଫ୍
ହଁ, ମୁଁ ତମକୁ ଯେତିକି ପିପିଟି ପାୱାର ପଏଣ୍ଟ ପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟେସନ କହିଥିଲି ମୁଁ ଆଜି ସବୁ ପଠେଇଦେବି। ମୋତେ କେବଳ ମୋ ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ସଆପ୍ ନମ୍ବରରେ ତମେ ମୋତେ ଆଇଦର ତମ ଗ୍ରୁପରେ ଆଡ୍ କରିପାରିବ, ନହେଲେ ତମେ ମୋତେ ଗୋଟେ ମେସେଜ କରିଦେଲେ ମୁଁ ତମକୁ ପଠେଇଦେବି ହେଲା।
ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ସଆପ୍ ନମ୍ବରଟା ସାର୍ କୁହନ୍ତୁ।
ମୋର ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ସଆପ୍ ନମ୍ବରଟା ମୁଁ ଅଲରେଡି ଦେଇଥିଲି, ଆଉ ଥରେ ଦେଇଦଉଛି, ତମେ ଏଇଥିରେ ମୋତେ ପଠେଇଦବ ହେଲା। ଅଲରେଡି ଚାଟ୍ ବକ୍ସରେ ମୁଁ ଲେଖିଦେଇଛି।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍ ସାର୍ ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିକାଲ ସାର୍ କେବେ ହବ ସାର୍? ଯୋଉ ନୋଟିସ୍ ଆସିବ ସାର୍?
ଏବେ ତମର 15 ଡେଜ୍ ପୂର୍ବରୁ ବୋଧେ ସେପ୍ଟେମ୍ବର 17 ତାରିଖରେ ବୋଧେ ଥିଲା, ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିକାଲ ଥିଲା 16-17ରେ। ସୋ ଏବେ ପୁଣି ନେକ୍ସଟ ତମର ଡିସେମ୍ବର ମାସ ପାଖାପାଖିରେ ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିକାଲ ହବ, ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିକାଲ ଏକ୍ସାମ। ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିକାଲ କ୍ଲାସ ସେ ଏକ୍ସାମର ପୂର୍ବରୁ ହବ, 1 ମନ୍ଥ ପୂର୍ବରୁ, ନଭେମ୍ବର।
ସାର୍ ରିସେଣ୍ଟଲି ଯେଉଁ ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିକାଲ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ହେଇଥିଲା ସେଠି ମୁଁ ଆଟେଣ୍ଡ କରିନଥିଲି, କିନ୍ତୁ ଏବେ ଟର୍ମେଣ୍ଟ ଏକ୍ଜାମିନେସନ୍ ପାଇଁ ଫିଲ୍ଅପ୍ କରିଦେଇଛି ଫର୍ମ ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିକାଲ ବି। ତ ତାର ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିକାଲ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଆଉ ଏକ୍ଜାମ ଦୁଇଟି ଯାକ ଡିସେମ୍ବରରେ ହେବ କି ସାର୍?
ମାନେ ଏକ୍ସାମ ପୂର୍ବରୁ କ୍ଲାସ ହବ। ଦ ଡେଟ୍ସ ୱିଲ୍ ବି ଡିସାଇଡେଡ୍ ବାଇ ଦ ଆରସି ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର। And as far as my knowledge is concerned, the practical classes are held 15 or maximum 20 days before the examination. Okay.
Recently some class already done, sir, I think
हाँ,
so.
Actually, recently the classes of 2022 June to 2024 January. So these session students are attended the classes, and they also appear the respective examinations. So in December 2024, the classes is for June 2024, and the previous students may take the classes. ନିରାକାର ଜେନା କିଛି କହିବ?
ସାର୍ ପିଡିଏଫ୍ ଟା ସାର୍ ଏବେ ନମ୍ବରଟା ସାର୍ ସେଠି ପିଡିଏଫ୍ ସାର୍ ପଠେଇଦେବେ ସାର୍ ମୁଁ ସେଠୁ ଯୋଉଟା ନେବି ସାର୍।
ମୁଁ ସେଣ୍ଡ କରିଦେବି, ମତେ ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ସଆପ ରେ ମେସେଜ କରିଦେବେ, ମୁଁ ସେଣ୍ଡ କରିଦେବି, କିଛି ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ନାହିଁ ହେଲା। ଆଉ ଯଦି ଗ୍ରୁପରେ ମୁଁ ଆଡ୍ ହେଇଯିବି ତ ଇଟ୍ସ ଓକେ। ଯଦି ମୁଁ ଗ୍ରୁପରେ ଆଡ୍ ହେଇବିନି, ଜଣେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଭିଜୁଆଲ ମତେ ପଠେଇ ଦିଅ, ମୁଁ ସେଣ୍ଡ କରିଦେଲେ ତମେ ତାପରେ ତମ ଗ୍ରୁପରେ ସେୟାର କରିଦିଅ।
ନମ୍ବରଟା ସାର୍ ଜାଣିନି ସାର୍।
ମୁଁ ଚାଟ୍ ବକ୍ସରେ ଦେଲି,
କହି ଅଛି ନମ୍ବରଟା ରଖି ଲେଖିପାରିବି।
ମୋ ନମ୍ବର ହଉଛି 990 3
990
324
224
5892।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍।
ଓକେ, ଏଇ ନମ୍ବରରେ ମତେ ସେଣ୍ଡ କରିଦେଲେ ମୁଁ ତମକୁ ପିଡିଏଫ ପଠେଇଦେବି।
Hello.
Susmita Pal, more money. I remember your query. I just
Yes, sir.
collect the number from Ravensa University, and after
Yes,
getting
sir.
that number, I will send you. Okay, don't
Okay,
worry.
sir.
I
Sir,
I
one
have.
more thing.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. The whole thing you have taught, you have discussed, sir. Uh, it requires time to go through the book, study, and after reading, as we are working, sir, it will take time. And after reading, if some doubt will come, then may I contact you to clear my
Yes, yes, yes,
doubts?
yes, definitely, definitely. This is not a matter of concern. You just put a WhatsApp message that this is my query. Then I
Yes, sir.
will
Yes, sir.
in that WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Namaste.
Namaskar. So anything else, students? So may I wind up the session?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So on behalf of Regional Center IGNO Bhubaneswar, I convey a deep sense of gratitude and thanks to all of you students and participants from different parts of our country, and I wish all of you to have a great experience in environmental science master degree program. And I also thank Regional Center Bhubaneswar to give me a chance or give me a platform to interact the MSc Environmental Science students, and to share my small knowledge with you students. And I wish we will meet again in different platform and in different programs. So thank you to all, and thank you to IGNO Regional Center Bhubaneswar. Thank you.
Sir, sir,
Susmita.
sir, one thing is there that my admission is in January 2024 and I have appeared MEV 11, 12 and 13 in your this June month and
Hmm.
practical nearly this month near that in recent MEV 11.
Hmm.
MEVL 11, sir.
Hmm.
So, am I eligible to attend the class in November for MEVL 012?
Yes, yes, because in December you will be in the second semester.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that means for first semester it is MEVL 11, for second semester it is MEVL 12. So
Yes,
you are
yes, sir.
eligible. You are eligible.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Namaste, sir.
So thank you, students.
Okay, sir.
So now the
Namaste.
meeting is officially closed. Okay,
Okay,
namaste.
sir. Okay, sir.